going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of to another episode of the Invincibles podcast. You already know who we are, Zan and Oli. Today, we're going to be changing it up. We're going to be talking about something we have actually never talked about before. We're going to be talking about our thoughts on the Harry Potter brand as a whole and how it connects to, the ownership of Warner Bros. And comparing it to Warner Brothers' other franchises like the DCU and things like that. And they own Godzilla, right? Warner Brothers, or is that
Yes.
Legendary?
I think Warner Bros. Yeah.
Okay. But essentially, we just want to talk about our thoughts about the Harry Potter brand. Today's episode is going to be a bit shorter. It's going to be 45 minutes. So hopefully you guys will get more condensed information, and hopefully you enjoy today's episode. So let's get into it, bro. We're both pretty knowledgeable, I'd say, Harry Potter fans.
I've read the books a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And real quick, what is your favorite book?
Oh, that's tough. Probably Half-Blood Prince.
Okay.
I think that's also my favorite movie.
Really?
Maybe. I haven't watched them in about 10 years, so.
Okay. No, I to me, I thought the 6 was kind of the weakest out of the films, but we can talk about that. For me, my favorite book was the third. My favorite movie was the third.
That's like that number 2 for me.
Chamber of Secrets was different. Yeah, I love Chamber of Secrets. But I think even though we're knowledgeable Harry Potter fans, I think the Harry Potter brand, it's kind of flailing, and I can't really call myself a huge Harry Potter fan anymore. To give a sports analogy, Harry Potter right now is like the Cleveland Cavaliers without LeBron James. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of it's there, right after LeBron left for Miami. It's kind of like that for me right now. And we just kind of want to talk about why we feel that is. So, Oli, I'm going to kick it off to you because I know you love Harry Potter and you played Hogwarts Legacy. You beat Hogwarts Legacy, I believe, right?
I got quite far, but I didn't complete it.
Okay. After the broomstick, I stopped playing. But just like in general, bro, like, what are your thoughts on the Harry Potter brand as a whole?
Well, it's not in a strong place. And that's pretty much all down to J.K. Rowling. Her sort of, opinions and things have definitely damaged the brand. And, there's so many people that didn't buy the game because they didn't want to support her. And I think the Fantastic Beasts films actually didn't do a lot because the first one was pretty cool. It was actually focused on, Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. And then after that, it sort of wasn't at all. It just had the Fantastic Beasts brand tied to it. So I don't know. A lot. It's big for tourism in the UK though. So whenever you see people come over to the UK, they always go to shops and buy Harry Potter merch. And like there's big crowds. Like we saw a couple of weeks ago when the train to Hogwarts was leaving from King's Cross Station. There's huge crowds there. So obviously it's still a big draw. It's still making a lot of money.
Sorry, 1 minute, bro. All right, you're good. Sorry.
But sort of overall, the perception of it is not as good as it was.
I think, sorry, my phone was like buzzing. I thought it was on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, I am. That's weird. But, so I think like there's clearly a pop cultural influence of Harry Potter. I mean, it is lightning in a bottle. I will say that. However, not every lightning in a bottle is the same. You know what I mean? Like Spider-Man, Star Wars, hell, even, Game of Thrones. I feel like they're at higher echelons than, say, Harry Potter. And the reason I believe that is because when you look at the Harry Potter story itself, it's very limited. So, like, it was made for kids, as is majority of, the brands that you see out now, such as Marvel, DC, things like that. Kids and the youth are a huge part of your consumer base. I get that. The problem is your audience grows up over time. So your brand has to be universal enough to meet those demands of growing up, So when you have a story that is surrounded around kids at a school, a magic school, and the threats and the world around them is based around that school. Once you, so to speak, move out of your life of schooling, and you're an adult, what use is that story anymore?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like the story has been kind of pigeonholed for children, even though there is very dark themes, very adult themes. Towards the end of the story, you're talking like reanimating dead bodies, and you're talking about deep themes of love and like abuse and stuff like that. So there are very adult themes in the story, but the characters' lives revolved around a school. School is inherently a child setting, especially when the population of Hogwarts is like 11 to 17. Those are children. So it's like, I felt like it never grew up, so to speak. I felt like the brand was huge at Hogwarts, but it never grew out of Hogwarts, and now it's kind of stagnated. Like the world of Harry Potter is so much bigger than just England. And I think that should have been something that Warner Brothers, that J.K. Rowling should have really grabbed by the reins, so to speak, and really try to take the brand as far as it can go. Because Harry Potter put Harry Potter on the map, right? Like the character put the brand on the map. Now let's expand it. And I felt like they didn't do that. I felt like they were just rehashing what has already been done in the brand. And there is a pop cultural element. Like when I went to when I went to Universal in Florida, Diagon Alley, beautiful. It was so fun. It was fantastic. Like the wizards, the broomsticks, like it was great. I didn't go on any of the rides because I have a fear of heights. But like,
really,
yeah. If Quidditch was a real sport, I would not play because no, fear of heights. But that there is like that, the nostalgia. You're brought back as a kid, but like as a kid myself, when I thought about my favorite brands, which is Spider-Man, Star Wars, Harry Potter, I'd rather have web shooters and punch bad guys, and I'd rather have the Force and lightsabers than stand a yard apart, aim a wand at you, and be like, Avada Kedavra. Like there's an element too where it's like, the magic is pigeonholy. The world of Harry Potter should have been explored, and it hasn't been. And I think the biggest issue that I have with Harry Potter as a story overall, even though it's well crafted, the dialogue is great, the characters are great, everything like that. I know some people might think the story is kind of mid, don't like it, whatever. Hindsight's 2020. I enjoyed the story. I really liked it for what it was. I don't want to be like a hater or anything like that, but I do feel like the story does forgive elements of life that I feel like are unforgivable. And number one thing is, I don't like how Harry Potter champions abuse, and I don't like how Harry Potter champions love. And when you look at real life and you look at like crimes related to abuse and like relationships, abuse and love that's a fine line that a lot of these abusers cross. So to have the story so carelessly use those themes and kind of humanize people that shouldn't have been humanized, I'm not gonna lie, that really pisses me off. Like Severus Snape, I want to look at the camera here. Severus Snape should not have been a redeemable character. What the hell are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell are we talking about here? Severus Snape, if we're going to use, like, let's use an American analogy, because, and I'll let you use a British analogy because I don't know, like, the British politics that well. Severus Snape was an incel 4chan Nazi conspiracy theorist as a kid, okay? He hated mudbloods, or I guess that's a slur. He hated muggleborns. You know what I'm saying? He hated muggleborns. He hated anybody who did not come from, like, the Slytherin line. He only liked Lily Potter because she was attractive. Think about that. He only liked Lily Potter because she was attractive, bro. And the way his character was written, I would argue if Harry Potter was a 12-year-old girl with ginger hair and green eyes, Severus Snape would have been caught in an allegation situation. I truly believe that because that's how he was written. His Patronus was a doe for a girl that was in bed with another man. How much of a cuck do you have to be? You know what I'm saying? And that's champion.
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling calls that true love. What are we talking about here?
I think a problem I have with
Ollie, your
her writing.
internet.
Can you hear me?
It says recording continues smoothly. Live video will return when the.
Okay. Can you hear me though?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think a problem I have with her writing is that she like changes the way certain characters act in later books when she needs them to do something for the story, even if it doesn't make sense for their character. If you know what I mean.
Like Wormtail.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I feel like there is a lot of, even though the books are for the most part well written, I think there is areas that are very quite lazy.
Yes.
Like, I think the biggest example of this is when Harry, gets killed in Deathly Hallows in the forest.
Yeah.
And then he goes to that weird dream place where Dumbledore and Voldemort are there. And Avada Kedavra got used on him. He should have died, but then he somehow comes back alive, and it's not really explained properly how. That to me feels like something a kid would write. Like that, I think that bit is just really bad. I've never managed to get my head around it.
I think it'd have been interesting narratively, like a what if story. What if Harry was like, you know what? My life has been full of trauma and pain. And you're right, Dumbledore. I don't have to fight this battle anymore. I'm staying right here. I mean, Voldemort could have been killed by anybody else and it would have broken prophecy, but it would have been possible. I mean, that would have been interesting, but it wouldn't have never happened. There was no payoff there. Yeah, I agree. I think that as kids, we loved it because we don't want anything bad happening to our characters. And I will say the one brilliant thing about Harry Potter is that Voldemort was defeated on his own actions. I thought that was good because it didn't make any. I just didn't see a scenario where Harry becomes so good at magic and he outduels Voldemort. That's just not happening. So to have Voldemort die because he himself was the hubris of his own life, I thought that was poetic. So I'll give it that. And I really love the fact that Voldemort really is a living manifestation of everything wrong with the wizarding world. Right? Like some people say like, oh, yeah. Voldemort, like me included, I originally felt like Voldemort, him just out the womb evil was kind of stupid because it's like, then he never really had a chance, But I think that is the brilliance of the character, is the fact that he is a manifestation of decades of decadent wizarding beliefs. And so when he was born into the world of the wizarding world, in a way, it was almost like he was kind of the punishment for a lot of the bigotry, a lot of the wizarding world, specifically Slytherins, were doing. So in order to fix the wizarding world, you have to fix this problem, being Tom Marvolo Riddle. So I appreciated, like, I don't know if that makes sense. I appreciated his angle, him always being evil, him always being twisted. Yeah, that was meant to happen because of the actions of thousands of wizards, thousands of years of inbreeding, thousands of years of just racist beliefs. He was the human manifestation of that. So I get that. But again, I just don't believe the whole, like, I would argue the whole, even though it was brilliantly shot and brilliantly written, the Snape's memories aspect in Deathly Hallows, he should not be a redeemable character. Like, I know some people say, oh, James Potter was a bully. Yeah, he was, but there is a difference between bullying somebody and then being a bigot racist. Those are completely different things. James was a tool. Snape was a Nazi. There's levels to this. And we don't acknowledge that perhaps James picked on Snape so long because Snape had those beliefs. If you guys read Deathly Hallows, what was their first interaction? It was based off of the Gryffindor Slytherin thing.
Yeah.
Now, James used his own beliefs, so to speak, to pigeonhole Snape, in a box. He said, oh, he's a Slytherin. He was like, oh, I already don't like you then. But let's be real. We saw Snape's background. We saw Snape's, upbringing. He wasn't a great kid to begin with. And the only reason he helped Voldemort is because Voldemort killed his girl. Or betrayed Voldemort is because Voldemort killed his girl. It was not because he cared about people. It was not because he believed that we needed to defeat the Dark Lord. It wasn't because he disagreed. We still don't know if Snape himself disagreed with his beliefs. We don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And it's really weird when you see in the film, I can't remember which film it is, but the flashback of when Snape goes to the house after, after Voldemort's killed Lily and James, and he's like, Harry's just a baby in his cot, and then he's just holding Lily's dead body, and just like rocking back and forth, like, what?
That's not love, because she didn't love you, bro. I need to talk to all of the incel bros right now, bro. The only girl you need to cry about like that for is a girl that actually knows you exist, a girl that actually wants to be with you. Lily Potter never gave an indication that she saw Snape other more than a friend, and Snape tolerated her because she was one of the good ones. She was one of the good mudbloods. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was not a good guy. He was joining up with Death Eaters. When Lily Potter literally was like, "You're joining up with the Death Eaters, aren't you?" He didn't have anything to say. So and then he goes to Dumbledore and he's like, "Okay, just save Lily. Don't save James and Harry. Just save her." Like, this was not, I want people to realize J.K. Rowling made Snape's character one that exemplified love. I want to be very clear. None of what Snape did was love. It was selfish. It was creepy, but it happened to be in the same interests of Dumbledore and our heroes. So it worked out. It was less of a sacrifice and more of a business transaction. Snape was not a hero.
I think the reason she sort of tried to make him a hero and, made him be on Harry's side in the end was just so she could do a cool twist. And she's not as skilled enough to do it well, so she just picked the person who literally doesn't fit being a hero at all, and she thought, oh, that'll be good.
Yeah, it's literally like if Solo Sokoa comes out of nowhere and spikes Roman Reigns. Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. Shout out WWE. Makes no sense at all what they were doing. And then the most disgusting thing, and this burns me, is Harry goes and names his kid Albus Severus. That's like if Peter Parker names his kid Norman Parker. We forget that Snape was such an abusive teacher that he was Neville Longbottom's Bogart or Buggart. I don't know how to say it. And I know that was comedic as a kid, but think about it. Your worst nightmare is him. And ain't nobody at Hogwarts decide to pull Snape back and was like, bro, if you don't stop me and you are going to have a problem. Like, if I was a professor at Hogwarts, I would pull up to Snape in front of everybody. I'm like, read my mind and see what I'm about to do to you. You know, Legilimens. Read my mind. See what's about to happen. Stop picking on my students. I don't get how none of the teachers ever checked him. I don't get it. And then I don't get why Dumbledore was seen as some hero when he used children to fight his battles. He was another freaking Joseph Kony, but he's white and has magic. Literally, Albus Dumbledore is Joseph Kony, but he uses wizards to fight his battles for him. At every moment, he could have destroyed Voldemort. Why didn't he? Because of destiny? That's stupid. That's stupid. Shout out God of War for breaking that trope where it's like, oh, you're destined to do this. And Atreus is like, nope, break destiny. We're doing something else. Like, that's so stupid, Harry. It's your destiny. Only you have to kill Voldemort. Why? Why? It makes no, like, I know you have parameters in a story, so you have to have your story work, but having parameters just for the sake of parameters because you need parameters is lazy writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, anyway,
I think another example of the lazy writing is how the bad things only happen at the end of the school year every time.
Every time. Every time. I mean, well, an exception could be a Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire.
Yeah, they sort of happen throughout, don't they?
Yeah.
But the big climax is always at the end.
Yeah, yes. And it's like, shout out Voldemort. He really wants to give Harry that education, you know? Or if they could have made his character like arrogant, like on the nose arrogant, to where he's like, I will kill you, Harry, after you believe you have a chance of beating me. Hence him always attacking him at the end of the school year, making that like a character flaw of Voldemort's, that like a compulsory flaw. That would be like, okay, like a psychological twist to it, you know what I'm saying? But all the psychological studies that they did of Voldemort was just them going back in time and acknowledging that he was always an evil little shit to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And Dumbledore was responsible for that. Or no, I'm going a little too harsh on it. Dumbledore saw a lot of that. He knew that Hagrid wasn't the opener of the Chamber of Secrets. Why didn't he put his job on the line? Because that's an innocent kid, a half-giant kid. He's going to have racism against him, you know what I'm saying? What if he's like, listen, man, I'm Albus Dumbledore, and I'm putting my name on this. He did not open the Chamber of Secrets. If you still kick him out, you're losing the most powerful wizard in the world. I will literally make a hullabaloo about it. Like, why? Why? I don't get it. And then Hagrid is so thankful to Dumbledore that he gave him crumbs of a house outside of the castle, and he's so thankful to him. Wow, thanks, Dumbledore. Real. Thank you for putting me up in a shack. I'm so grateful. That's the issue I have with Harry Potter. It champions abuse. It champions abuse from Albus Dumbledore using kids like Joseph Kony, right? Prisoner of Azkaban. What was that? Why did Harry and Hermione have to go back in time and do all of that? You're Albus Dumbledore. You're the most powerful wizard in the world. You can do that.
Yeah.
You could take the time turner, go back in time, literally make yourself invisible, do all of that Patronus charm crap. You know what I'm saying? And save the day. But then if we do that, we don't get Harry doing it and you don't get the payoff. I get it. But I'm just saying you can literally pull back the layers so easily to where you realize, like you said, it's J.K. Rowling making stuff happen. The story isn't organically happening, though. And I think that's a big issue. And say it goes from Dumbledore using children, nobody checking Snape ever. He made fun of Hermione's teeth. He's Neville's Bogart. He was a Death Eater. You should already on that not have a job. The only reason Dumbledore, this is important. The only reason Dumbledore hired him is because Dumbledore was like, oh, well, I was a Nazi too when I was a kid. We forget with Grindelwald. He saw that parallel. So it was self-interest. It was self-preservation, I would argue. Okay? So it goes from that to then having the worst security ever at Hogwarts. We talk about how Hogwarts is so protected, Hogwarts is so secure. So you're going to take something like a nuclear arm code and put it in your castle, like in Philosopher's Stone. And then when all the bad stuff happens in your school, and ain't nobody in UK go like, okay, why is there so much security hazards around our children? And it's under Albus Dumbledore. Okay, you know, anyway, you have one of the founders of your house being an alt-right Nazi who created a basilisk in your castle to kill people.
Yeah.
To kill people of who they are, you know, off of their blood status. You know what I'm saying? And then to have Harry go and live with the Dursleys. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't Dumbledore take in Harry? I still don't get that. Voldemort isn't going to touch you, bruh. Voldemort isn't going to touch you. If you have adopted Harry Potter, he's like, I give up the white flags. I'm not doing this. Why did
they make Harry live with an abusive family for like 11 years?
Because of the blood connection of Lily and Petunia. So Voldemort, I guess, couldn't touch Harry there physically. But here's the thing. Voldemort was scared of Dumbledore. So why didn't you just live with him? She champions abuse. That's what it is. She champions abuse. Hogwarts thought it was acceptable for Harry to live at a house that didn't love him every summer. You know what I'm saying? Like, makes absolutely no sense. None of it made any sense. And then, you go from Albus Dumbledore using kids, you go Snape bullying kids, and then having his beliefs only championing up with the good guys because his girl was killed, who wasn't even his girl, because she was one of the good ones, and he was so obsessed with her that his Patronus charm was hers. That's not love, that's lust. I truly believe if Harry Potter was a 12-year-old girl with red hair and green eyes, or no, 16-year-old, we're looking at an allegation situation. I'm telling you that right now because that's how he was written. That's how he was written.
I've got a question for you.
Hmm.
Do you know with the fact they're rebooting Harry Potter as sort of a series?
Yeah.
Would you say there's an opportunity to sort of fix the franchise?
Ooh.
And all these little things, they just iron them out and they improve the story.
Now you've just flipped it on its head. Before I wasn't feeling it. I thought it was a cash grab.
Mm-hmm.
If none of the original actors want to come back, and I don't blame them for that at all, because to be clear, J.K. Rowling is an extreme transphobic bigot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
whatever your beliefs. Yeah. Well, like, I know some people who are like, I don't believe that. I don't want to go into that rabbit hole. The point is, she has made it her personality. Like, she wakes up, what do I want to do today? I want to eat breakfast. I want to mow the lawn, and I want to hate trans people. Like, she's made it her personality. It's weird. She could have just collected checks the rest of her life and been loved if she didn't just run her mouth. You know what I'm saying? But
by the way, I think you can tell that she's not a good writer because everything else she's done outside Harry Potter has been a complete flop.
Yeah. That's true.
So, say with this series, then, would you want it to be like each season is a different school year?
Honestly, I if they're smart about it, I think this would be over years, and I think each school year probably gets like 2 seasons, or maybe one big season full of like 16 episodes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But I do love, like, yeah, bro, this new TV show has an opportunity to rectify all those wrongs. But if you don't have him go to the Dursleys, you don't have him do a lot of the stuff that you do, Harry. You don't have Snape redeemable. You actually write him not as a creep. Like, people say always, right? Like, I see so many people with the always tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Like, over here. Stop. Snape didn't love Lily. He was a creep. He only cared about saving the wizarding world from Voldemort because he was horny. There's Harry Potter and there's horny Potter. You know what I'm saying? Snape is horny Potter. That's what it is. He was horny for Lily Potter. That's what it was. Stop championing him. He was a creep, bruh. If we knew people who acted like that in real life, we would stay away from him. So why do we champion him? Why do we get that stupid always tattoo? Snape sucks. We need to acknowledge that, please. To answer your question, to ask you a question, sorry. If they do all of that and they rewrite the characters and make it something completely different, is that Harry Potter anymore?
I think so. Because franchises have been rebooted before and things have been changed. I don't know why, but the first one that's come to my head is Fantastic Four. You know, that's been rebooted a couple of times and key elements have been, changed quite a bit. Like, in the recent one, everyone was a lot younger and Ben Grimm sort of was very different to the Ben Grimm we saw in the earlier films.
Yeah.
He was absolutely terrible. But, that's another story. Maybe that's not the best example. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when you reboot a franchise, you sort of you're allowed to be creative with it, I think. But if you people won't want to see the same thing again.
But if you do reboot it though, and you do rewrite a lot of the characters significantly, and you redo the plot and stuff like that, what if it becomes better received than the original films? Are you kind of dishonoring the original films then?
I don't think so. Like, I think that's fair, really. Yeah, because so what if it's better? Like, it's a different medium. It's in a show rather than a film.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't think there's a problem in it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I would love that. I would love if they redid Harry Potter and the reboot HBO series and redid a lot of the significant issues that we saw in the books. I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be a way
Mhm.
to put the Harry Potter brand back on the map because the brand has been dead. But I also think we need to get out of England. I love England. I've never even been to England, but we need to get out of England and we need to focus on other parts of the world. Like, for example, America, South America, Africa,
Mhm.
Asia. We need to flesh out those
Oh,
worlds.
I just thought of something.
What?
You know the Triwizard tournament?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if like each round of that takes place at a different school.
And that could be a way to flesh out the. Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
So like task 1 could be in Bo Batten's, task 2 Hogwarts, with the Black Lake, task 3 Durmstrang, makes sense of the dark magic, all that stuff. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe we see a couple episodes at the beginning of each season showing the wizards on the summer holidays, like what they get up to when school's not on.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's the way to
That's
do.
how you could involve like South America and things like that.
Yeah, and we all in the book we have the connection with Charlie in South America when his pen mate sent him the cursed
Yeah,
hat. Yeah, we have that connection. Boom, there you go. You can do it.
send Harry and Ron to South America
You can do
at the
it.
beginning of like one of the seasons on a holiday.
Yeah.
And like defeating some sort of minor wizard or something.
Yes.
Evil wizard.
Yes. That's the way. Yes. If you're gonna do a reboot and it's not canon, whatever, you might as well go crazy with it. Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Or, I would love to see American wizards, their reaction to what's going on in the UK. Because if you look at
that'd be cool.
If you look at Pottermore, right, and to give a brief rundown, pretty much a lot of the wizards were not making the trip to go to the new world because magic you cannot apparate that far of a distance. The ocean is too big, the continental distance is too big, so you weren't having a lot of wizards making that jump to the new world. Therefore, you're not having a lot of those bigoted pure blood beliefs happening in the new world. So essentially the wizards that are being born there are being born from Muggle families. So why would they have this Muggle superiority? You would have pure blood superiority. If you were to have villains, they would have beliefs that are completely different than the European way of thinking. Like why would they hate?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then but I also think if you're going to focus on the American wizards, forget what J.K. Rowling did on Pottermore. Make them Native Americans.
Oh yes.
Make them and get Native American writers. Give Native American, cultural linguists, cultural analysts, cultural consultants, whatever you need to do, and just make the American branch of wizarding heavily Native American inspired. Like I know Ilvermorny is there, everything like that. It's literally just Hogwarts 2.0. And it also, if you have Native American wizards, it makes no sense for them to be wiped out by like the Puritans and stuff because they have magic. So whatever happened to the natives that weren't Muggle, that were non-magical, that wouldn't affect the wizarding ones. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
you have a completely different style, and then you have diversity. You have much needed diversity. The last time I saw Native Americans in something major, probably Wakanda Forever and Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I definitely think that if they were to focus on America, don't just make it like the movies where it's just a bunch of white people again. Like actually have Native Americans and actually flesh out their magic and make it completely different than the European way, And then maybe Harry, Ron, and Hermione, whatever, they can learn something that Voldemort never cared to learn because he was like, I don't need it. I'm Voldemort. And maybe that can help them in a sticky situation. Maybe not something to where something significant like the Native American wizards know how to destroy Horcruxes, or maybe not that, but maybe something small to get them out of a small issue, just to acknowledge that there is a world outside of just holding your wand.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to do it, bro. Focus on Asia. And then also Africa is a huge continent, right? Having one wizarding school there makes no sense. Africa needs to have 4 or 5. Africa needs to have 4 or 5 schools alone. Asia needs to have 4 or 5 schools alone. America, think about it. You might have wizards who are living in Hawaii and Alaska and Texas, and they all have to go to Ilvermorny, which is in Massachusetts. And if you look at a map, those are continental lengths. The island of Hawaii, all the way around the Pacific Ocean, all the way over America to go all the way up to Maine. America doesn't need only one school. That makes no sense. That's terrible world building. So yeah, I agree with you. This reboot potentially could have the opportunity to rectify a lot of the lack of world building in Harry Potter. But my question to you, will HBO or Max, I guess, David Zaslav, will they make that jump?
It's hard to say because obviously they've been very good with what they've given James Gunn, what they're allowing him to do, just giving him free reign. So we have seen that they can be willing to let people just be creative, put someone in charge, let him do what he wants. So I think if they find the right person and that person pitches the idea correctly to them, then maybe. But the likelihood of something like we've discussed happening, it actually improving on things, I'd say the actual likelihood of that is pretty low.
So it's just going to be a rehash.
I think that's what's most likely. I don't think they'll go as far as some of the ideas we suggested, even though they should, because, we're right.
Yeah. We're right, man.
Put us in charge.
Yeah, bro, if I had the reins of the Harry Potter franchise, I was the Kevin Feige, I would literally break down the franchise Rocky Balboa-esque, Natural World-esque, Game of Thrones-esque, main franchise Magic-esque, right? So what do I mean by that? I would make one franchise, one movie trilogy, literally a sports drama about Quidditch. Literally just a sports drama. Nothing crazy, nothing in the world, just an athlete trying to make ends meet playing Quidditch. You know what I'm saying? And just literally Rocky Balboa that. Just make a sports drama about Quidditch. We've never seen that before. A sports drama, a made-up sport, a fictional sport, but treated as seriously as the World Cup, as the NBA Finals, as you know what I'm saying? Like as any Olympic sporting event, and just about that, just a sports drama. And then maybe you could have Daniel Radcliffe show up briefly in the crowd, and we have Harry Potter attending the game with his wife and family. Nothing crazy, but just a sports drama about Quidditch. That's number one. Number two, I would actually make a Fantastic Beasts franchise that actually focuses on Fantastic Beasts. You know what I'm saying? It's like a wizard that is going to like the savannas of Africa and stopping a manticore. That same wizard going to the Bermuda Triangle, stopping the Kraken from sinking ships, something like that. Going to the the Himalayas, stopping the Yeti from killing people. You know what I'm saying? Like Loch Ness Monster, bring it back to Scotland where Hogwarts is. Like that's what I would do. Focus just on like monsters. You know what I'm saying? And like having a natural world element of it, giving it the energy of what we would when we were kids, like playing with magical monsters in our head, but like these monsters can actually kill you, like stuff like that, like a Steve Irwin element to Fantastic Beasts. That'd be number one. Number three, I would definitely focus on other parts of the world. So like, let's get a Japanese Harry Potter type of franchise going on. You know what I'm saying? Let's get like an African Harry Potter thing going on. Let's have an Asian one. Like let's have an Asian one like India, Pakistan. Wizards there in a very religious Muslim world, because magic in the Muslim world is a massive no-no. Okay, now what if you're born with magic? Are you a jinn? Are you a demon? Like let's focus on that. Like have a franchise about that. And then number four.
So would you have things like this, like say films set in these sort of worlds alongside this new series?
Yeah.
Sort of world building.
Yeah, so they can be in different time periods, they can be in different continents, they can be in different eras, or they can be concurrent. Doesn't matter, whatever the grand scheme of it is. I would not MCU it. I would not have them all come together, but I would have them running concurrent and having our own thing. I really do think a sports Harry Potter thing, like that would be my baby. That would be the thing I focus on, is a sports drama. That is
That would be cool.
the sports drama, or a wizard traveling the world and stopping magical beasts from causing haywire. It's like a wizard on the open sea hunting the Kraken. Bro. Like, come on, man. Like, who doesn't want to see that? Who doesn't want to see that?
That's cool. That is pretty cool.
A magic harpoon that has unlimited distance or something like that. Like, come on, man. Who doesn't want to see that? You know, and then I would focus on like a main Harry Potter line, right? That focuses on Hogwarts, focuses on our characters, having it pushed forward, focusing on Hermione being the Minister of Magic, having tensions with the other parts of the world. So if I was the president of Makusa, right? And I personally think the natives should be the face of the American Wizards. It doesn't make sense for Europeans to be the face of that. Native Americans should be that. The Iroquois, all of them, they should be the face. But maybe like the natives being like, listen, UK, you guys got to get your stuff together, man. You're always having dark wizards coming up like Grindelwald, Voldemort. Maybe some Death Eaters try to flee to America and try to create like a new Death Eater thing in America. But the American Wizards, you guys forget there is no Azkaban, because they just straight up kill them. Like the American Aurors don't mess
The American way.
Yeah. The American way, yeah. We ask later, we shoot first, bro. It's disgusting. But literally, they don't play around. They're lethal. They just kill dark wizards. So like maybe Hermione's like, we needed them for questioning, and the American Wizards are like, here are their memories and these vials. Here's their testimonies.
Oh.
Boom, and then here are their bodies. You know, like we don't have Azkaban. We don't do Dementors.
I think to achieve all this, we've kind of mentioned it, they need like a Kevin Feige or a James Gunn.
Yes.
Or like a Dave Filoni.
They need somebody. Yes, they need somebody who is not enamored with Harry, Ron, Hermione, and just Hogwarts and the castle. You need to expand upon it. And here's an interesting one. What if aliens come to Earth and the Muggles are screwed? But because the magic protects the wizards all over the world are wondering, do we intervene? Do we not? That is such an out there concept. But we have always seen alien invasion stuff. We have never seen alien invasion versus magic.
That would be insane.
Yes. Like, imagine if you're Harry and Ron and Hermione, like, we've fought Voldemort. We've never fought Supreme Overlord Zord with atom smashing guns. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Independence Day meets Harry Potter.
Yeah, like you can literally take the franchise in so many directions, man. And you don't even okay, and then like, because maybe some people love Harry Potter, but they're not really big into the over the top save the world stuff. So then maybe you just have a story of like a simple love story in the world of Harry Potter, right? So it's like, what if a wizard falls in love with a muggle or something like that, and we've seen that story happen a lot, but we've never actually seen it come into fruition. So maybe just a story about that, just a love story, and the magic that you see could be simple romantic cues, nothing crazy like Avada Kedavra, anything like that, like you can really flesh out this world the way Star Wars has, the way Marvel has, the way DC has, and they haven't. And it's sitting money right there, because Harry Potter hasn't been relevant in how many years, and you still go to Universal and you still sell out Diagon Alley. They're doing a disservice to the brand. You can do so much more. You can do so much more.
They need someone who understands the franchise, but also understands the problems with it and the potential of what it could be.
Yeah.
And put them in a Kevin Feige role and just give them freedom.
What would be the movie? Because, I mean, the TV shows and stuff, like, I envision the sports drama as a TV show type deal.
Okay.
I envision the show, like the, like the wizard hunting the Kraken as a show. It could be a movie, but Fantastic Beasts tried it and failed. I think, what do you think the movie, like this new Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter franchise movie, what should that be to grab the audiences and be like, okay, we're back in?
I think it's whatever is it's got to happen after the show's been going for a few years. Once they know this new world is something people like, the audiences at large want, and it's making money. I don't mind like a sports drama film. I wouldn't mind that just as a film. Um, I think that would work well as a film. Actually, that's what I go for. I'd rather have that as a film.
Okay. Hey man, like, or a dueling movie. Literally boxing, but dueling.
Oh, that's cool.
Talk about the economics of that, how that would work. Oh, that's another thing too, unrelated. And I know we have to go soon, but why is anybody poor in the magic world? Why are the Weasleys poor? You have magic. I know you can't replicate money and you can't replicate food or whatever, but it's lazy. If I have magic, I don't want to be poor. That's stupid. Bro, if I had magic powers and I was still poor, I would lose my mind. I would be a supervillain. If I had magic and I was still poor, I would lose my mind.
Oh, that's funny.
Like,
but yeah, same.
It makes no sense. None at all. Let's have a TV show or a movie acknowledging that Slytherin is a shitty house. It is. Like, I don't get, people get edgy and they're like, ooh, Slytherin are the people who are, what you're thinking?
No, carry on. I've just thought of an idea. But
no, I was saying like Slytherin is known as the house that is cunning. Slytherin is the house that are, ruthless. Let me ask you a question. Are those people you want to be around?
No.
And every single dark wizard that has caused the most harm in the Harry Potter world has been from that house. Why are we championing that house? Replace that house and call it Mein Kampf. Replace that house and call it ISIS. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Replace that house and call it, Boko Haram. It's the same thing. Why do we champion Slytherin? Like, if we had another headmaster, here's how you can continue the main Harry Potter saga, right? Don't focus on Albus Severus or anything like that. Maybe make it 40 years after. So maybe Albus Severus is a headmaster or a teacher at Hogwarts. You get what I'm saying? And maybe the new headmaster is like, you know what? I'm tired of dark wizards. We are eliminating the Slytherin house. No longer a thing. No more Slytherin. See ya.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they start cracking down and criminalizing Slytherins. So Slytherins have like security surveillance. Slytherins are like on lockdown. And then Slytherins maybe can claim, oh, we're getting persecuted against. But it's also like, well, bro, you guys are also Nazis. So like, can you really blame us? We don't want another Voldemort. Like there's a lot of things you could do. There's a lot of things we can do. We forget Slytherin did they or did they not participate in the final battle of Hogwarts? I know in the movies they didn't, but in the books, did they?
Oh, I don't remember. I think so. I know, well, the only ones they ever like show, so Draco and that do, but I don't think they show any others.
Draco Malfoy is headmaster.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And maybe Draco is the one who's like, I don't want Slytherin anymore. A Slytherin disillusioned with Slytherin is like, you know what? I don't want this anymore. I was in that house. I know what it did.
That'd be cool.
I don't want to be. And then maybe the other houses like Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff are like, thank you, because if a Slytherin is saying it, we don't get the hot seat. We don't get the backlash. He's saying it. He's from your own house. So then Draco has to be responsible of, quote unquote, fixing his own house.
Yeah. I like that. I would like that.
Yeah, and then Draco Malfoy, like, make him an Albus Dumbledore who doesn't actually use children to fight his battles and is actually willing to use dark magic to protect his house. So maybe make him the Kratos of the headmaster, so to speak. That's how I would do it, And then maybe occasionally he writes a letter to Harry Potter and he's like, Harry, like, what do I do here? Like, what's your advice or whatever? And then I truly believe the Potters deserve to have a happy life for the rest of their life. So maybe they're like at a house in Aruba or something. Harry's like, hey, I'm kind of busy right now. Here, this is what I would do, blah, blah, blah. Like something.
Yeah.
But that would be my line for the main line of the Harry Potter movies. Maybe a sports drama the wizard hunting magical wizards or magical creatures, and then Draco Malfoy being the headmaster, and he's deciding, I don't want Slytherin as a house anymore.
I think something else that could be cool for a movie is sort of the origins of Hogwarts. So maybe you do 4 movies, one like the origin story of each, person behind each house, or you just do 1 movie, the origins of how they came together to create Hogwarts, and then you could explore the relationship of Godric Gryffindor. Is it Ravina Ravenclaw?
Yeah.
They're all like alliterative, aren't they?
Yeah.
Helena Hufflepuffs.
Yeah. Sal Joseph. Yeah.
The relationship between those guys and Slytherin, and sort of the conflict between them. I think that'd be really interesting.
And flesh out Slytherin. I don't want him to make Slytherin like this redeemable villain, because at the end of the day, he did create a basilisk that was murdering children. But maybe make Slytherin somebody who's like, I have seen muggles rip apart wizards. I have seen horror. I don't want anybody from that world in our school anymore. But then the way he goes about it, he becomes more Black Manta-esque, becomes more and more hateful, and has to be kicked out. Like, yeah, I agree. They need to do that instead of Fantastic Beasts and Ezra Miller being Dumbledore's secret brother. Like, come on, bro. Like,
is that what happened?
Yeah, he's this.
I only saw the first one.
The second one is garbage, bro. And they really should have gone more in on the fact that Dumbledore and Grindelwald had a relationship, but they chickened out because they don't want LGBTQ stuff. This was necessary. If you ever want to talk about pandering or wokeness, this is the franchise where you need that, because that is an integral part as to why Dumbledore acts the way that he does. He fell in love with an alt-right Nazi. You need to explain the homosexuality stuff. You need to. That's a major part of it.
Yeah.
And I don't get why people are mad about that.
Another thing that they should do is just pay off J.K. Rowling and take her influence away.
Bro, we have a better chance of American government becoming a monarchy than that happening. I mean, it already kind of is, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's making so much money off of that. Do you know how much court litigation, how much legal battles? But if I was Warner Brothers, I would do that. I would pay that money.
Yeah, just get rid of her.
Yeah, and just move on. Like, she's not George Lucas. She's not Stan Lee. She had lightning in a bottle and fumbled it. But yeah, those are our takes about Harry Potter.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I haven't talked that much about Harry Potter in years.
Let us know if you guys want us to talk more about Harry Potter. I mean, clearly this is a franchise we love. It's a franchise we can see a lot of cool stuff in. It's just a lot of untapped potential, wasted potential. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's got potential.
It's got potential. Bro, if I could ever get to a place in my career where I could be a part of the Harry Potter world, the movie I would make is that sports drama movie. That would be the movie.
I want to see that now. I really want to.
The movie I would make. That, or the wizard actually going around and hunting the magical creatures. Not like preserving them, like, no, hunting them. Like, that'd be cool. And then making it a point that hunting and sport hunting is wrong, like don't champion it, like, to show that it's wrong. But I mean, a wizard in the open sea, stranded, the only thing he has is his wand, hunting the Kraken. Come on, who doesn't want to see that? Guys, do you want to see that? Who doesn't want to see that? Stranded, the only thing he has is his wand, sun beating on him. You know what I'm saying? Sharks are coming. He's using sparks to get him away. Hunting the Kraken. Who doesn't want to see that?
That sounds very, very cool.
Like, come on. Like, maybe have sea-dwelling mermaids who help him out. I mean,
could you have like an underwater wizarding school, kind of like an Atlantis type thing?
Yes.
That's right up your street, that, isn't it?
Bro, I mean, anything water, I'm already in, bro. So, like, yeah. An underwater wizarding school would make sense. Muggles can't reach that.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool as shit, that.
Warner Brothers, you already have Aquaman. You can do this too. Come on, make it happen. Make it happen. Man. And then also make more cool games, because Hogwarts Legacy is fun, but there's just not enough narrative for me anyway to continue playing that game. And especially
the novelty of it wore off after a bit.
Yeah, and then Jedi Survivor came out immediately, and I was like, all right, see ya.
Oh, a Harry Potter or a wizard style Uncharted game where you've got to go searching for magical artifacts.
Yes, please, dude.
Oh,
please.
Yes.
And then he has to go to like one thing in the New World, and like the American version, like it's not, the villains aren't necessarily wizarding based off of Pottermore, but more monster based. So you see a lot of like witches, like American Horror Story type witches. You see a lot of that. You see a lot of like in Fairy. You see a lot of werewolves, vampires. They typically are the main issues in North America. So maybe somebody like Blade hunting them, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Do what Moon Knight failed. Take a vengeful wizard who wears a mask to hide himself from the other wizards, hunting down these monsters in like New York City.
Oh, yeah.
During like the 80s. You know, like, but we could keep going on and on, guys, but this will be the end of today's episode of the Invincibles podcast. Before we go, Oli, do you have anything you want to end the show on?
The Rock came back on SmackDown last night, and it was fucking cool, and I loved it. And then John Cena's there as well, and then John Cena and AJ Styles are teaming up, and that's what's been on my mind today.
You know what's been on my mind? Real quick before we end the show? The Rock saying Roman Reigns and The Rock at WrestleMania 39 was a lock.
Yeah, he said they had like a handshake deal or something.
And then he ended up not doing it. I don't know why. Probably because he didn't want to put Roman over.
Yeah. But if they do that at WrestleMania 40, Cody's never finishing the story.
Cody has to finish the story. I don't care about Dwayne anymore. He's a nice guy.
Do they do tribal combat night 1, Roman versus Rock, Roman wins, and then Cody beats him on night 2?
Yeah. I think it would be better if The Rock faced Roman at Survivor Series.
In Chicago, and then CM Punk comes out.
Or bro, okay, a Rock versus Roman match doesn't need the titles, right? You don't need the titles for that. So maybe would the bigger main event draw in Philly be Roman versus Rock for the Universal titles? Would it be Roman versus Rock just for the head of the table, no titles? And then for the title match, would you rather have Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk? Heel CM Punk.
Wait, so how CM Punk has the title?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because CM Punk is a heel in real life anyway.
I don't want to see him. If he comes back, I don't want to see him as champion.
But I think, okay, so then would you have a triple threat between CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns? And then Cody can smash, stack, and pin Roman and CM Punk the way Roman smashed and stacked Daniel Bryan and Edge.
You know, a few months ago, I would have said yes. But I just think the way Punk acted on his way out of AEW, he doesn't deserve a main event.
Yeah. Well, but do you think
bring back pre-show matches and put him on the pre-show?
But would he come back? Final thing before
I think so.
Is he coming back to WWE? When is he coming back? And how would you book WrestleMania 40?
I would have him lose in the opening match to Austin Theory.
Damn, bro. Here's how I would book it. I would have CM Punk show up at Survivor Series. Him and Roman have a segment, like a story all the way up to the Royal Rumble. Roman beats him. You know what I'm saying? LA Knight wins the Royal Rumble, chooses the World Heavyweight title, and then Cody challenges Roman because Roman has no one else left. He beat CM Punk, he beat everybody. Cody's like, our story isn't finished. That elevates the CM Punk loss would kind of elevate that match even more. And then in Philadelphia, where the Liberty Bell first rang in America, the American Nightmare wins the WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. Cody has to finish the story. I don't want Dwayne at WrestleMania 40.
No, same.
I don't want Dwayne.
You can do that WrestleMania 42. Oh, 41. 41.
Yeah.
I think, speaking about, just to touch on LA Knight for a second, I love how we've gone into a little wrestling segment to end the show.
Yeah.
I wasn't that keen on him winning the Rumble because I wanted it to be Gunther originally. But what I think they should do now with Gunther is just have him go insanely long with the Intercontinental Championship and then win the next Rumble.
Still as the champion.
Maybe not. Just have him lose it maybe around the Rumble. Maybe they do another UK stadium show next year. Lose it to a Pete Dunne, a Tyler Bate, an Ilya Dragunov person. Then have him win the Rumble.
Okay.
But also, another bit of WWE stuff we need to touch on before we leave. I know you know what I'm about to say. It's something we're both very excited for. Jade Cargill's come to WWE.
Yes.
Book me her first feud, or book me her WrestleMania match for WrestleMania 40.
I would do the same thing that happened with Cody, right? So his debut was at WrestleMania.
Oh, really? You'd wait that long?
Yeah. Because I love Jade. She needs work. That's not disrespect to her because she wants to get better. She has openly said that AEW wrestlers didn't really help her. But she wanted to improve. She wanted to go to coaches. She wanted that mic work. She wanted that experience. She wants this, bro. She wants this. So
she wants Hollywood as well, doesn't she?
Yeah. And Jade Cargill should be MCU Storm.
Yes.
Jade Cargill should be MCU Storm. So I think that, like 100%, 1,000,000,000%, she needs to go to WWE. I'm surprised Tony Khan is letting her go.
Yeah. Well, apparently, like, they're not offering her enough money or something.
Okay. So does she have a non-complete cause?
No, because I think her contract's just expiring.
Okay. Bro, I would have her come. Oh, Rumble. That's what I would do.
That's what I was gonna say. What I think they should do is not send her to NXT, but send her to the Performance Center. Have her training there until the Rumble. Debut in the Rumble, win it, and then face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania.
Oh my God, dude! And then she beats Mommy. Yes. Jade Cargill needs to squash Rhea Ripley. That would put her on the map, bro. Put her on the map, bro. Maybe she would like squash Dom too, like maybe grab Dominic Mysterio and like, bro, that's the perfect booking, dude. That is the perfect booking. She comes back or do you think it would be too on the nose if she won the Rumble? Like, what if she was fine?
Maybe, but go on. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, let's do that. Let's have Jade Cargill come back at the Rumble with her music, her AEW music.
Oh.
That's what I would do. Yeah, and then, because my thing is she still need to, like, be a little better on the mic. Like, I love Bobby Lashley, but she gives Bobby Lashley when she talks. So, like, it's like, oh my God. But she can perform insane. Like, her ring work is excellent. So, just a little bit more touch up. I mean, if you can touch up Roman Reigns, you can touch up Jade Cargill. So, and then she comes up at the Rumble. Okay, wins the Rumble, faces Rhea Ripley, beats Rhea Ripley. WrestleMania, I have to go to WrestleMania 40 now, bro.
Yes, you do. Philly. You do. Get your tickets.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, bro. Okay, after this, I'm going to, oh my God, I got to check that out. Jade Cargill, bro. Jade Cargill can break me in half anytime she wants. So like Jade Cargill, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god, I love me some Jade Cargill.
There's so
and then,
many
having
potential matches for her, like Rhea, Charlotte, Bianca.
I would have her beat Bianca.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill versus Sasha Banks if Sasha ever decides to come back.
Oh, that would be incredible. That's something we thought we would get in AEW because it seems like Mercedes is AEW bound when she's fit.
Mm-hmm. But I guess not.
Yeah.
Hopefully AEW doesn't just deteriorate now. But it's I would have CM Punk come back after like some mental health screening, and then. But yeah, Jade Cargill to me is the bigger star than CM Punk. Not in terms of popularity, but in terms of like freshness and the ability to push WWE forward. Yeah, give me Jade.
She's worth more money.
Yeah, give me Jade Cargill. Jade. I mean, bro, when she was a heel, people wouldn't boo her.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't boo her. Like when she had her baddie section, you had people screaming baddie, baddie, bad, and she's like looking around the crowd like I'm trying to get booed right now, bro. Like you guys love me, like like Jade Cargill, bro. Yes, Jade, please come to WWE ASAP. And if The Rock and Cena coming back, the first episode is one thing. I would not be surprised if Jade Cargill just shows up on Raw, like. Just as.
Imagine she shows up next week.
Bro, this Endeavor, at first I was kind of like, it's ironic. When I thought Endeavor bought WWE, I thought Vince would get control of WWE, but he has control of UFC.
Yeah, he's on the board, isn't he, of the TKO Sports?
Yeah, he's not weird. In charge of WWE, he's in charge of UFC. Dang.
Well, it's the combined company, isn't it?
Yeah. So...
It'll be weird, it's going to be a weird time, but I'm quite interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, all I'm saying is Endeavor, give us Jade, give us LA Knight, give us Cody Rhodes. Those should be the three champs. Jade, women's champion, the world champion, LA Knight, world heavyweight champion, Cody Rhodes, undisputed WWE universal champion. That should happen.
Also, when Cody wins that, please change the name back to the WWE Championship.
Yes, please. Oh, and you know what would be a fun feud? Brandy versus Jade.
You thought tonight was open mic night, bitch.
Bro. I just love how WWE has bounced back from the initial AEW wave. They just did their own thing, telling the story, and it's a good time. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Great time.
Yeah, there's something out there for any kind of wrestling fan now. There's something easily accessible and something that is on the highest level, like AEW doing, not selling out Wembley, but selling a heck of a lot of tickets at Wembley.
Yeah.
Wrestling's in a great place.
I agree. But with that, we're going to leave you guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the podcast. Once again, I'm Zan.
I'm Oli.
And we're the Invincibles. Take care, guys.